David, since the news broke about al-Awlaki's killing, there's been a lot of questions about the government's authority to kill an American without a trial. Did the Secretary address that at all?
She did not address that, and the 4 questions she fielded from the audience did not touch on that subject either, Kevin.
David Goins, live in Little Rock. Thank you very much. Joining me now to continue this conversation is Republican Congressman Tim Griffin of Arkansas' 2nd District. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And obviously, this is a big story of the day. President Obama called the killing of Anwar al-Awlaki a major blow to al-Qaeda. How do you see it?
It is, and Americans are safer as a result. It's another step in the killing of the key leaders of al-Qaeda and dismembering of the network. It's not a fatal blow, but it is a significant blow. We will have to continue to, piece by piece, person by person, take this network apart. We have made incredible progress thanks to both civilian and military folks who have been working on this for a decade, but there's no one that is going to just end it. It is going to be a fight that continues, but this is, let there be no question, this is a very significant blow.
Well, is the crackdown on al-Qaeda networks actually, having a significant impact, or is it actually helping them recruit even more, including Americans who are willing to carry out terrorist attacks?
Sure. Well, there are always going to be the outliers who want to join this sort of organization. But I think if you ask anyone who studies al-Qaeda and their strength in the past versus now, I think it's everybody, every expert on al-Qaeda agrees that they are struggling. We have killed most of their significant leaders, including of course, bin Laden. And there are always going to be those who will join this type of organization. I'm sure we will still be fighting terrorists long after I'm gone, for generations. But al-Qaeda's ability to strike at will and do great damage to the United States has been severely limited, and we will just have to continue to do this. This is going to be a long fight.
You're a member of the U.S. Intelligence Committee. As you well know, having read the reports and hearing our reports, al-Awlaki was born in New Mexico, hadn't been charged with any crimes, a U.S. citizen. Presidential candidate Ron Paul said earlier today that the killing amounts basically to an assassination because there was no trial. Secretary Clinton did not address that question, didn't have time to because of the media. Do you feel that the killing of him was justified?
Oh, absolutely. And that's, with all due respect to my colleague, I think he's wrong. This is a situation where an American citizen he's still a citizen, but he basically has joined another country's, or not a country, but another organization's fight as a member of their, it's not a true military the way we think of a military of a country like France or Germany or England or whatever, but it is an organization that is at war with the United States. He has joined that, and I am happy, pleased that he is now gone, and I think it was entirely justified, and I don't think there's any problem with that whatsoever.
Okay. Let's change gears and talk about the events taking place in Washington. President Obama signing today a stopgap measure to prevent the government from shutting down today, basically extending it at least until Tuesday, where you and your colleagues will head back on Tuesday and make another vote to extend it until November. This is the 3rd time we've averted a shutdown. Are we going to avert a 4th?
Well, I think we will continue to fund the government. I don't think there's any question about that. I think that this is what happens when the president doesn't have a budget that's passed. The Senate hadn't had a budget in 2 years. The House passed a budget. And so what we are doing is just taking it one step at a time. Now, we had agreement on some spending numbers in August. That was part of the debt agreement. And those numbers ultimately are going to carry the day. Some of what we are passing is just implementing the numbers that many of us agreed to when we signed the August agreement. So, my view is the we're going to continue to fund the government. I don't think there's any question about it. I think that I don't think there was a real risk of shutdown here.
I would agree with you, but I think voters are getting tired of the constant back and forth approach to it. What's more important in your mind, spending cuts or tax reform? What's the focus going to be come next week?
I think we are able to walk and chew gum at the same time. I think we can do both. If there was one thing that I would like to see out of this super committee, as it's called, would be fundamental tax reform. Because fundamental tax reform it needs to be done to sort of help us understand what revenue is going to be, who's going to bear what burden, how we're going to compete with other countries, how we're going to grow jobs. All of this is related to the question of getting our budget in balance and reducing spending. Fundamental tax reform has been needed for years and years and years. We shouldn't miss this opportunity.
The clock is ticking. We'll see how it plays out next week. And then some. Congressman Griffin,
Thank
always
you,
good having you. Appreciate
Thank you. Go Hogs.
Good point.
Now, weather to